Welcome to the North Texas Community Difference-Denton, powered by the Difference Media LLC and 2940 The Difference Radio. The voice of small businesses and the communities they serve. Today's show is hosted by Matt Kern, entrepreneur and founder of Denton Does It, and Beth Caudill, realtor with eXp Realty, Chance Post with Total Care, and Robert Tokarczyk with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. The North Texas Community Difference Series was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share thoughts and insights about being a professional and the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in a very special way. Because the North Texas Community Difference-Denton
starts now.
Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm glad to see you guys on today. Thanks for joining us on the Community Difference-Denton show. Tuesdays is one of my favorite days of the week because it's Taco Tuesday. So go out and buy local and shop with somebody that you know, and always give somebody a hug when you get a chance because you never know. Anyway, I just want to welcome everybody on the podcast show today. You probably heard in the beginning of the show, my co-host, I just want you to know that our show is growing. I'm so excited about that. It's just been a super blessing. That we really started the show August the 1st, and we're already getting where we're at now. But I'm very blessed to have some new co-hosts with me. So you're going to see a rotation from time to time on there. But Robert Tokarczyk with Fairway Mortgage is one of our co-hosts and sponsors. And then also Stephanie Ziemann with Simply Smart Real Estate is on today. So this is her first show. So you guys be nice to her today. And I'd like to welcome both of them on right now.
Hello.
There they are.
It's
Look
my
at
second
y'all.
show.
Y'all look beautiful. Yeah. So Stephanie, just remember that Robert's only 2 steps ahead of you right now.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm a seasoned veteran here.
He is.
Well, perfect.
Right?
You should be at this point.
Right. So Robert, doesn't it feel better that you're not the newbie? Right?
Sure.
Yeah. So we have a little sister now to pick on.
There we go. I always needed one of those.
All right.
I had 4 older brothers and sisters that always picked on me, so I need to return the favor.
Well, let's go ahead, and since Steph's on with us now and it's her first time out, we'll let the girls go first. So Stephanie, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing, in the Denton County area, and all your personal things that you want to tell us: Social Security, credit card numbers, all that.
Well, I'll give you each of my kids' Venmos. You can help with teenage food bills and
Golly, that's something, isn't it?
That is, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me on, Matt. I really appreciate it. It's
Yes,
a lot of fun. I am a real estate broker here in Flower Mound, Argyle. I've been doing real estate in DFW for 22 years. Actually, born and raised in this area, so I've watched it. I've watched it grow. I've watched it, develop into what it is.
Yeah.
And I just love the area. I've been out here for 10 plus years. My son, I've got a 17-year-old. He's a senior at Liberty Christian, plays baseball. My daughter, I have a daughter that's 12. She does competitive gymnastics. So
my daughter does too. Yes.
Yeah. So it's
know.
you know the life. I'm a chauffeur 99% of the time, and
yes,
a grocery delivery on the other side.
Right. And then a part-time mom over all of that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Isn't it funny as our kids get older, the less we know?
Absolutely. It's
we didn't have a life before them.
And we didn't try to pull all the same crap they're pulling. I've already been here, done this. I know I'm 3 steps ahead of you.
Yeah. Yep. How did you get into real estate? Who was the cause of that?
So I got into real estate essentially right after high school.
Okay.
I went to work for an agent as an assistant and just absolutely fell in love with it.
Yeah.
I love the process. I love the chaos. I love the moving all the pieces of the puzzle around to try to help get it together and coming up with solutions for problems and, all the quirkiness of it. I also, I do a little bit of contracting work and design and remodel as well. So it's always fun to revitalize spaces and figure out, what you can do with it.
Yeah, there's a
Um,
lot of dynamics to real estate, because your income producing real estate sales can definitely lead you down a path of other things that are related to real estate. I really think that everything's related to real estate.
mhm.
I mean, we're standing on land,
Yep.
right? We came from the dirt. We're going to go back to the dirt one day. You know what I mean? And everything's really related to it around it because you got to live in a house, an apartment, or in something, or the van down by the river. And hopefully everybody will understand the importance of investing into their own home one day if they
Mhm.
haven't already. And so I applaud you for sticking with that. So you really were entrepreneur right out of the gate then, weren't you?
I really was, I just fell in love with the whole process and and just everything that goes into it.
Yeah.
And then, being able to be be a piece of the puzzle because, whether
Yes.
you're buying or you're selling, it's, they always, and it can seem like it's very overwhelming, but it's actually not if you can have somebody there to kind of help guide you and
Yes.
break it down step by step. And one of the big things I always tell my clients is there's no such thing as too many questions, and there's no such thing as a stupid question. Like
That's right.
I want at the end of the day, I want them to feel as comfortable with the process and not just, well, I signed this and I have no idea what I actually did, so hopefully this doesn't come back to haunt me. Like I don't ever want anybody to say that.
Right.
And
And
so,
two, you need to circle the right people around you, you
mhm,
know? And so having that primary circle and secondary circle of people in the real estate business, uh, probably most people know this, that one sale of a home can at least give up to 13 businesses some kind of business from that,
mhm.
opportunities. And so I think that's a great thing also, because we're also trying to share that with our local tradespeople and our local professionals, here
Right.
in our
I have
market
a
and
large group
industry
of
too.
local trades that I recommend every time. And
Yeah,
I always tell my clients, I'm like, I don't if I'm recommending them, they've physically been in my house, like they have
yeah,
done work from me.
right.
So,
Yeah,
that's a big piece of it too, is being able to, like you said, there's so many moving parts and there's so many things that can get involved with it that there's so many people involved, and I
yeah,
love using local to the area.
yeah.
And you got to find
So,
someone that you trust too. I mean, there's
yeah,
so
Yeah.
many
no, I
small
can
dynamic
trust.
companies. If you have someone that you've dealt with and can refer that on, it makes people feel a lot better than Joe down the street that requests you to pay up front for the product and then they disappear and then
Mhm.
you're left holding the bag. So if you have someone that's going to do good work, which is unfortunately kind of hard to find these days,
Yeah.
Exactly.
let you know.
Well, Robert, tell us some good news about residential financing right now.
Interest rates are smoking hot right now. The people are beating down my door to refinance. Well, as everyone knows, mortgage rates have gone up.
Yeah.
They will start to come down soon. Now, with
Yes.
that being said, even though rates are a little bit higher, I do have some people that are refinancing and taking cash out of their property to pay off other debt. Some people are like, okay, wait a minute. Why am I going from a 3.5 to 4% rate or even 3% rate up to the 7 range?
Yeah.
It's like, well, look at your credit cards and see what those interest rates are. If you have 23, 24, 25% on a lot of cards, I just did a cash out refinance for someone recently that paid off all their credit card debt or most of it, freed up $1,800 a month. And we ran a scenario, said, okay, yes, you did go up on your rate, but if you take that $1,800 you were paying towards credit cards
Yeah.
and only pay $1,000 a month towards your mortgage loan, you'll pay off that loan in 13 years. And you currently have 14 years left on your mortgage. So you'll be in a better position, way better financial position. You've freed up cash flow. You're still paying down debt, and it's going towards equity in your home to recoup that from what you paid off.
That's right. This is the example, y'all, of why to have a professional to help you, right? Is put the person who works with the numbers every day, like Robert does, put the numbers together and see what formula works best for your certain, decision.
Yes. And, everyone's saying, okay, rates are high, so I want to wait for them to come down. Well, when it does come down, that's great. You'll have a lower house payment, which everybody wants. But then when that happens, as we've talked about for the last few months, it's home prices are going up. They will go up just off basic appreciation, supply and demand. And then when everybody wants a house, they'll start bidding above list price and drive that price up. So if you buy now and refinance later, you'll still be a lot lower than if you wait, because then you've lost all that equity. If you buy a $400,000 house and it goes up 5% in the next 12 months, that's $20,000 equity plus whatever people drive up the price.
Yeah, that's right. Well, this morning, I was driving in Denton down Loop 288. And as soon as you pass McKinney Street going southbound towards the mall, it looks like apartment haven. There are apartments going up on both sides there all the way to Morse. And it is amazing how many apartment complexes are coming up. And, look, if that's what they need to be able to take care of the population as the growth comes, it's fine. And we hope that at some point we can explain to those people to quit paying somebody else's mortgage and pay for their own, at some point. Yeah, I should be getting an amen from that, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
no kidding. Amen. I mean, if you're paying, if you have a housing expense, you're paying a mortgage.
Yeah.
It might not be yours, so why not pay your own and get the increase in equity and build some wealth? 75% of wealth in the United States is from real estate.
That's right.
Whether it's your primary residence or that plus rental properties.
If you want to look at what the housing is doing, just drive down some roads around 407 and 35 and 380 West and 380 East and North all the way to Gainesville. You're going to see a lot of residential stuff. It's coming. They're moving dirt left and right. I live in the Crum area, and if you drive between 35 and Crum on 380, you'll see a few 3 or 4 subdivisions that are coming, and those are going to be hundreds of thousands of people, in these homes at some point in time. So let's pray for our city and our county planning, and also for our school districts, and for our police and fire departments too, because that adds, work for everybody, on top of what they're already doing and the growth that they got to have. And I would say that a lot of people are still probably having a hard time getting good employees too. So let's go ahead. We're at a time where we're fixing to do our next segment, but let's go ahead and take a break. And then after our break, we'll come back and we're going to invite our guest in on our next segment. Okay?
Great.
The Community Difference is a new series of shows powered by the Difference Radio live stream and podcast network. This series of shows was designed to highlight the unsung heroes that call our towns and communities home. And we wanted to create a platform that brings awareness to and reminds folks of the goodness that lives within so many of us. By working with the local community leaders, business owners, first responders, veterans, schools, and citizens who want to unite with a clear and selfless purpose, the Community Difference seeks to spotlight the people, events, and activities that are producing positive outcomes, inspirational stories, and incredible experiences. In a world that is consumed with negative press, media manipulation, and propaganda, The Difference, along with many others who believe and support The Difference, understands there is no better way to make the difference than to highlight the unsung heroes that call our towns and communities home. We are currently searching for local communities to be the focus of our shows, but before we can launch a show in your community, we need your help. We need you along with local business leaders, chambers of commerces, major nonprofits, online community group leaders, networking groups, etc., to join us in making the difference and helping your community be seen, be heard, and be remembered. So if you would like to know how you, your business, school, social media community, church, or your favorite nonprofit organization can be a part of this unique and powerful program, reach out to us today and introduce yourself and let us know how you would like to contribute and bring awareness to the amazing people, places, and events that are making the difference in the community you love. You can call us at 972-866-4596 or email us at info@thedifferenceradio.com.
And now, back to the show.
All right, we're back. So let's go ahead and bring our guest in. Our first guest is Cameron Robertson. She's with the City of Denton Planning Department. And Cameron, come on in here, girl. All right, there you are. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Thanks for being on
me.
today. I'm excited to dig in a little bit today about planning. Some people are like, what are we talking about planning? Listen, planning is really important in your community, right? If you don't have a plan and you don't have a strategy and you don't have goals set, you're not going to have much of a community as things grow because it's not prepared for that growth, right?
Exactly.
So anyway, we'll get into that. Our other guest today is Coach Kyle Draper. Mr. Draper, there you are. Look how clean and shiny he is. He must have showered.
I did take a shower this week. Yes.
Good for you, sir. Hey, I'm glad to see you, brother. I hope all is well. I'm guessing you're at home with everything that's behind you in the background.
I am. Yep.
Yeah. Have you been traveling?
Yeah, I get to travel a lot, which is a lot of fun. So, Vegas.
Oh, so you enjoy living out of the suitcase?
I love it. I know I'm a weirdo, but I feel like it's like what God designed me to do.
I'm glad you feel that way.
It's a lot of fun.
You keep on feeling that way then and going out and blessing people and helping people too.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to get into what Kyle does today too, and the connection between City of Denton and planning and social media. There is a connection to
I'm
everything.
excited to see how you're gonna pull all this together.
I'm going to sew it together.
Me too.
Well, listen, I wanted y'all two to be in with us today on our segment, and it's called
What's Up, Denton?
What's Up, Denton?
What's up,
And so
Denton?
each one of these segments, we like to talk about what's going on in different events that are happening in our community. And so if you have anything that you want to talk about that's connected to the Denton community, pipe in too. But Robert's going to take this away.
All right. Well, welcome, everybody. There's a lot going on in Denton this week, so I'm just going to cover for the week and through the weekend. A lot of things. Probably the biggest event would be Denton's Day of the Dead Festival.
Yes.
A lot of people really like that. It's free. It has music, art, food, and a lot of fun.
And coffin races.
Yes, that's what I was going to go over. I was going to kind of go over the whole lineup for what's going on. It goes Friday, Saturday, and part of Sunday. So Friday's a little bit more calm than Saturday. Saturday's the big day. There's a Pine Box Derby at 6 p.m. on Friday, and then the Cirque du Horror show at 7:30, which they have this several times throughout the process. I guess it's a tent that's going to be pretty interesting.
Right.
At 11 o'clock on Saturday, the festival starts. You got a pumpkin patch. At noon is the actual coffin races.
Yes. Have y'all ever been to the coffin races before?
No.
I've never heard of coffin races. That's a new one.
Let me tell you, everybody brings out anything that they can put a wheel on and a tire. It's going to have it on there. And the best thing is that they start up at the top of the hill on Hickory Street, and they have a pusher. And that pusher sometimes has some kind of bar or they push behind it. And let me tell you, when they let that sucker go, it goes flying down that hill.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so that's at noon, and then they give the awards at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
At 2:30, there's a thing called Flight of the Souls, and then the Cirque du Horror at 4 p.m. And then at 5:15 p.m., there's a costume contest. So if you want to go in your Halloween gear, that would be great.
Is anybody dressing up for Halloween this year? Do you have a
Yes.
costume? What is it?
My family is Mario Brothers. So
Nice.
So my son is Mario. My wife is Luigi. My oldest daughter is Princess Peach. My 4-month-old is the Mushroom,
Okay.
and then I'm Bowser.
Bowser. Gotcha.
Nice.
Oh, I can't wait to see that picture.
Yeah,
That's
we need
wonderful.
to see that. Yeah. Anybody else dressing up?
I'm
So we're
not.
doing the Nightmare Before Christmas thing, at our house. And
Mhm.
so y'all remember the mayor?
Hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
He had a happy face on one side and an angry face on the other. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to be.
Nice.
And there will be pictures.
Yeah,
Oh, good. I
so-
can't wait to see the pictures.
Amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then at 7 p.m., there's a Twilight Lantern Parade. And then 9 p.m., the Cirque de Horror.
Yeah.
There's also
Well,
music. The main stage is on Industrial and Mulberry Street. So if you know any of these groups playing at 11 a.m., it's the Pantones. At 12:15, A Taste of Herb. At 1:30, Les Not So Hot Club. At 3 p.m., El Chinclazo. 4:15 p.m., Bubba Hernandez. And at 7:30 p.m., Grupo Fantasma.
Never heard of any of those before.
I haven't either, so they may be pretty good. Check them out.
Do you know what was playing last weekend down there? Geezer Palooza. Anybody ever been to Geezer Palooza?
No, that sounds great.
That's for, people who remember the real music back in
Yes.
our days.
Uh-huh.
Right. Yeah.
Is there
So I'm
is there
just
an
saying,
age
I'll probably-
restriction that comes
I'll probably
with
get
the term geezer?
Comments on that, I'm sure, but saying.
Yeah, I heard they're
cutoff
going to
line
have a
to be
couple of
called a
paramedics out there in case someone, falls
Right.
down. And
That means older people there,
Yes.
Kyle.
Yeah, but I there's got to be an age, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. At what age do you start becoming a geezer?
I was like, because I wish I had known. I would have gone.
yeah.
Okay. Well, there was good music because a lot of good cover bands. So I would fall into that. Anybody that was born in the 60s or before,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Would
Is
be
now a
would
geezer.
fall into
Got
that.
it. I can't wait
Yeah.
to tell my parents that today.
So guess what's going on Saturday as well? It's Denton Palooza 3
Uh-oh.
at the Rubber Gloves Rehearsal Studios.
Okay.
So they're raising funds that will benefit both Leukemia Texas and the DMAC. So
Okay,
that
cool.
starts at 4 p.m. The doors will open.
Okay.
4:30, there's like a sidewalk chalk and art expo.
Yep.
Then they have bands playing. 6 p.m. Blueberry Tuesday. 7 p.m. If you've heard of any of these, let me know. Gary Dog Mayor re-election kickoff. Smothered 7:15. Protesting with Fred Flintstone 8:10.
These are bands?
I'm just reading off the list. I think so.
Okay. Okay, then.
Well, they're events, put it that way. So go
Yeah.
and find out.
Okay. Well, that's
8:15,
exciting.
You know your cheese with Secret Chef Lanky. That's a little event there.
You're right.
8:45, the Ghost of Festivals Past. 9 p.m., Shallow and Death Squad.
Do y'all know that they were doing ghost tours this week on the square
No, I didn't know
in
that.
Denton?
No.
Do you know that there's ghosts on the square in Denton?
No,
Did
that's
anybody know?
awesome.
Yeah.
I've been on a couple of those, and
Do y'all have some in your building, Cameron?
I'm pretty sure we have a bathroom ghost. We've determined there's some weird
Wow.
things going on with the sinks and lights going out, and we've
Is
heard
it
some
Moaning
noises.
Myrtle?
No.
Is that who it
might
is?
be.
Right? Is it in the bathroom? So that would be in the women's bathroom,
Mhm.
not the men's.
I haven't heard anything from the men in the building telling me if it's haunted
Well,
or
you're
not, but
lucky.
the women's.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, you're lucky. Denton's got so much community stuff going on. There's always something happening every week, every weekend, too. We're in such a great place for not just music. I mean, music alone with all the bands that come through. One of the things that I would like to bring up since Cameron's on today is we need a music location, right? Like a Dickies Arena. That would be really. That's my
Okay.
my Christmas
Can you get
wish
started
is
on
a
that?
Dickies Arena in Denton. Doesn't that sound awesome? Dickies Arena in Denton, or some kind of
Yeah.
music venue like the Bomb Factory or Lava Cantina or something like that, where I just
or an
feel like
outdoor amphitheater.
all these bands are driving past Denton to go to Oklahoma or going to Fort Worth or going to Dallas, and they're missing us right here. Even though we do have some good venues here, I really think we need a nice music venue. Everybody in agreement?
I got my pen, Matt.
Yes.
I got my pen.
Everybody in agreement? Okay.
Okay, everyone voted.
Yeah.
That's probably
okay
that you need, I would think, for that to pass, probably.
Right. Okay, Robert, anything else important?
Well, there's a couple other events during the week if you want to hear about them.
Okay, shoot them.
If this is of interest, on the 24th, which is today, Tuesday, there's a trivia night at the Kava Bar. And then there's karaoke at Loophole, and that goes from 9 to midnight.
Does anybody on this show today sing karaoke? Be truthful. Kyle?
No.
Robert?
I mean, I've been known to do it a time or two.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just Stephanie, a time or two, but I'm not good
Well,
at
guess what? Stephanie just got voted to sing karaoke on the way out of the show today. Thanks, Stephanie.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. You're going to have to step it up. Yeah. Didn't Lyndon tell you that when it's your first time on the show that you have to sing karaoke on the way out of the show today?
No, he
That's
did
our
not.
outro.
No, sorry.
Well, he
guys.
forgets sometimes. He's old.
I always forget that one. I don't know what it is about that. I just always forget to tell him that.
I think my throat's getting a little scratchy.
You sound
if
great.
y'all watched the show last week, we did get a little karaoke out of Jeff, didn't we? Jeff Bowerman?
A little bit. He cut it short.
Yeah, he kind of chickened out at the very end to sing it when we brought it up, but he did a good job.
Well, our Wiley show, we had a guy that sang the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air song, and that was one of the most viewed shows. People just started watching that and commented on it. So
did he sing the whole song?
No, we didn't let him sing the whole song. We cut it off. It wasn't that good, but it was comical. It was comical.
Right. I bet it was.
It's good TV.
Yeah. Okay. Are we okay on break? We don't need one right now.
We got about 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Well, okay. We don't have enough time to hear from our guest about who they are and what they do and how special they are. So I say, let's take a break now early. That way we can come back and listen to our guests talk about how wonderful they are.
The North Texas Community Difference-Denton is made possible in part by Beth Caudill and the Make the Move team with eXp Realty. Your trusted partners in Denton County, Texas, for all your real estate needs. We understand the local market and pride ourselves on delivering personalized service, backed by cutting-edge technology. Experience the difference with Make the Move team, and by Matt Kern with Denton Does It. A network of discovery. Effective networking involves active listening, genuine interest in others' work, and a willingness to offer support and resources. Investing time in others will create valuable connections that propel careers and unlock endless possibilities. Robert Tokarczyk with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. Your go-to loan officer for all your home financing needs. Robert has been assisting families obtain the dream of home ownership for over 31 years with honest, stress-free service. His word is his bond. NMLS hashtag 258950/2289. And Chance Post with Total Care. Total Care has been treating our neighbors in North Texas since 2004 as a family-owned, patient-focused company headquartered near Fort Worth. Offering 10, 24-hour emergency rooms spanning from Weatherford to Garland. You can find links to our sponsors in the comments and descriptions, as well as on our website www.thedifferenceradio.com. If you or someone you know in the Denton area would like to sponsor or learn more about co-hosting the North Texas Community Difference-Denton, please reach out to Matt Kern at matthewdoesit@yahoo.com. And now back to our show.
Back. Cameron Robertson, your sister. So I didn't know this until I was reading your bio. So you came from New York?
I did. So I'm originally from Dallas, but I was on the East Coast for about 12 years.
Okay.
New York City included. So
yeah. Shout out to New York City. Right?
Yeah.
You still have any fans out there?
In New York?
Yeah.
I have a few fans.
Yeah.
A
Do you
few.
stay connected with some of them out there?
I do. I've been able to keep in touch with a lot of friends out there and a lot of past colleagues, and everyone seems to be doing well. They're just not enjoying the dreary weather. They weren't able to enjoy the
No.
fall foliage. And I told them
That's
that,
right.
you know, we're about to get the fall foliage, hopefully.
Yeah. So how did you become an engineering nerd?
Oh, goodness.
Who tricked you into that?
To be an engineer.
Yes.
It was really, I just loved dealing with historic structures and just, you know, infrastructure in terms of bridges and roadways. And it really came together in terms of how do cities get built. So I pursued engineering degree in Washington, D.C., and ended up practicing as an engineer in Erie, Pennsylvania for a few years.
Wow.
And at that point, I really decided that, hey, I really love history. I really love urban planning, that kind of aspect of truly how do cities develop? You know,
Right.
we got engineering, we got urban planning, we got historic preservation. What all does it encompass? So I ended up getting a dual master's from Columbia and then working as an environmental consultant for the next 3 years. And then during COVID, decided that I really wanted to be home again, be closer to family. And I found this awesome job in Denton working for the planning division, our development services, as the historic preservation officer.
That's because Denton is awesome. That's why.
It is awesome.
Right? It is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we have people from all over the world that come here because it is awesome, right?
Yeah, it's
And
amazing.
that it is. And I'm so glad. So you don't know this, but I grew up in the land surveying industry.
Okay.
So I always loved reading old deeds and finding, reading something and taking direction from that description, and then going out and finding treasure. Most of the time you found fire ants, snakes, ticks, and poison ivy. That's what you usually found a lot of, and mad people and neighbors and dogs, on there too. But the other times, when you were able to actually find remnants of what was called for, in a description, was very interesting. And to learn the lay of the land, like a lot of cities, if y'all don't know, a lot of cities were based off a square or it was based off a railroad. It was one or the other that came into that area first, because of industry. And then it got built out from that point on, and so to find that, defining that information and finding out who owned it and where it came from, and then where it's being developed. I love development. And I know a lot of people talk about now, well, our country area, out in the country is going away because housing's coming. It's going to come no matter what anyway. So either we embrace it or we fight against it. But the reason, y'all, why I want to explain why Cameron is on is not because she's so smart, which she is, and talented and awesome.
Thanks, Matt.
Is that I met her on the square when I was out at Arts and Autos, and she had this big map. And she was talking in this topic, this platform of, the question was, if you had a choice of wanting something in Denton, where would you want it? Right? What would you want and where would you want it? And I thought, well, you're just socializing, networking out here, and you brought your map with you. That's what an engineer nerd does, right? But you made it exciting for the people to be able to see something. Look, we need something tangible. I need to see it and I need to touch it, right? And then I need to look at it where I can get a full description of what's going on, like the bird's eye view, right? And then I can say, yeah, I want this and I want it right there. So would you talk about that for a minute? And y'all?
Sure. So one of the things as the planning division, being a part of development services, we're really trying to provide growth management and development review. But also part of that, we're looking at neighborhood preservation and revitalization. And one of the things that as the planning department, we've really decided is that we really want to be out there in the community. There's not always that kind of transparency that you have when it comes through the planning process. And we've really feel that a lot of people usually see us as the bad guys, especially with how much growth we're having here in North Texas at this time. And that's really not our role. We're not here to be the bad guys. We're really trying to help with that growth management. And
Right.
so what we were doing at Arts and Autos was really starting to kind of get that initial feedback for what we want to see in the downtown area for Denton. We're working on different area plans. So that's kind of that long range planning that we have going. And we're working on, I'm going to hold it up. It's called Design Downtown Denton.
Yes.
And that's why we had the map out. We were really trying to see what people loved about downtown, what they felt like it was lacking in. We've been hearing a lot about parking. People want parking. They want the ease of being able to walk to the square. But at the same time, a lot of people said, well, I want bike lanes. I want streetscape. I want trees. I want to be able to take a break while I'm walking downtown and sit on a nice bench and observe what people are doing.
Right.
And it was really great feedback that we started getting from people. And we had a lot of people, including Matt, just thanking us for being out there. And we really saw such a difference in terms of people wanting to talk to the city. That's not always the case as well. People don't always want to interact with the city. And so we felt that, Arts and Autos was kind of the kickoff, and that we're really excited to really get out in the community and really have these honest conversations with people, especially about the processes, because it's all about education. And really helping people to understand what does that process look like? What does getting a building permit look like? What does going through the development review process look like? So we're really just trying to get out there, educate, but also allow people to put a face to a name.
Yep.
And not really be behind the screen anymore. So it's been a really exciting time, and you'll see me at Day of the Dead. I will be there on Saturday talking about the Design Downtown Denton plan. So if you're out there, definitely.
Are you going to be dressed up in a costume?
I feel like I need to now.
I
After
feel like
what
you
Robert
should.
just shared and like the extent of it and with the coffin raisins, I feel like I need to come up with a good costume.
Yeah, you should. Well, I appreciate you telling that. And I think y'all really have a well thought out method. If you read through how they're setting up and what their goals and their strategy and their mission is. And so also too, when I was thinking about this and reading through that, I was thinking, okay, Coach Kyle Draper, this guy is like the king of social media.
Mhm.
And so since this is probably your first time to meet Kyle Cameron, is I knew that Kyle would be able to like, I work around the real estate industry because that's how I met him was, he was teaching a class to real estate agents and training them on social media and mortgage people too. See, it's all related to real estate, right? We're all related to it one way or the other. We all cross paths. I think the first time I probably met you, Coach, was with Brady Hunter, maybe over in Salina or Prosper or somewhere like we were working out of a model home, doing lunch and learns.
Oh yeah,
and that kind of stuff, and doing that kind of cycle for a little while too. But so Kyle, you call yourself a video marketing therapist.
Yes,
we all need therapy,
yeah,
right?
Ain't that the truth? Yes.
I mean, some of us might need it more than others. Probably one that's not faces on here right now, but behind the scenes probably could be. But I'm just saying. But why therapist, Kyle?
Matt, so I'm a former pastor, and then I owned a roofing company, and then I got into the social media world, and that doesn't make sense when I say it that fast, but there was a path there. And what I've realized, much like all of us on this, this Zoom, the world StreamYard, for the podcast, that we're all on video.
Yeah.
And what I found over the years was all we know to blame is social media. Oh, I'm not great at Facebook, or I'm not great at Instagram, or, who owns TikTok? Is it safe to be there? And we have all these excuses when what I've seen is they all just tend to cover up the real struggle, which is video like we're doing right now. It's the most truth-telling mirror we'll ever look into. And so for all 5 of us right now, like we've been forced for 40 minutes now to have to look at ourselves for longer than we ever would want to in a day.
Yeah.
And so
Preach
what I
that.
have to spend most of my time doing is really like that deep work with people, helping them understand, like, if you can go to coffee and have an appointment with someone, you're overcoming all of the same fears that it requires to do video. You just don't see it that way.
Yeah.
And so we blame it on the technology. We blame it on the social platforms. And so I just end up being around a lot of people that cry when I'm present because I have to unroot some really deep things to help people go, oh my gosh, you're so right. Like, I am more capable than I'm giving myself credit for. I am smarter than I'm giving myself credit for. People do need my help.
They do.
And so I looked up last year and was like, I feel like I do therapy more than I necessarily do coaching. And so calling myself a video marketing therapist just makes people go, wait, what?
Yeah.
And it creates that conversation. So that's why I do it.
And it did cause that. Is through the years now of doing this, is that why the book had to come out? I mean, did you have to get that off your shoulders? Like, I've been carrying this for a while and I need to get it out on paper.
No, I had no intention of ever writing a book. I've never seen myself as an author. As soon as Cameron started talking about how, like, she got a double master's,
I know, right?
And I've been to 5 colleges and I graduated from none of them. And so I call myself an overachieving underachiever because I know I've gone to more schools than Cameron has. I just didn't accomplish anything. And so I had no intentions of writing a book. My wife and I were on vacation in Cancun, and at 2 a.m, our room was 80 degrees. I couldn't sleep. And it was as if God said, go out on the patio and write a book. And I was like, what? Come again? And I sat on our patio, wrote 4 chapters of the book, and we came back home and I was like, well, crap. I mean, I can't just leave 4 chapters unfinished.
Yeah.
And so in the next month, I wrote the rest of it, and I looked up and was like, oh my gosh, I wrote a book. How did this happen?
Must have been God.
And here we are. So
yeah, it was God.
100%. Anyone that knows me, once you start reading it, you're like, Kyle's not smart enough to have done this.
I know, right?
And so
listen, brother, there's things that come out of my mouth when I'm mentoring and training.
Yeah.
You know, in real estate. And I know it has to be God because I can't think of it that smart. Right. I was like, dang, that's good. I should be writing that down. I could write a book. You know,
you got it. You have it. You have it in you to do.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. Okay. So, Coach Kyle, listening to what Cameron was talking about with the city. All right. This is real estate related.
Yeah.
In what she's doing in the planning department. What would you tell her as far as giving her some guidelines to get the message out through social media, which I'm sure y'all probably are. She didn't tell us about that yet.
Sure.
But I mean, you got social media king here. He's probably got some ideas.
I don't know about that, but yeah, my mind is racing.
I'm sure it is.
When we're listening to you talk, you know, because where I think most people go wrong with social media is we've been taught and we've been shown that, like, the goal is to go viral. The goal is to try to be trendy and fun. And because naturally most of us aren't creative in that capacity, we go, well, like, if I can't do fun, cutesy TikToks and reels, like, who's going to care about the City of Denton Instagram? Right? Like, that's the natural way we think. When what I heard you say is there's such a distance between what is true of what y'all do versus what people think you do. And whenever there's a large distance of disagreement or misunderstanding, the greatest way to fix it is to show up where people spend over 6 hours of their day every day. Which is social media.
That's right.
And so what you were doing on the square with the map, and like, that's so fun and creative and engaging, and all of that could then be turned around and duplicated through social media, right? Where like you take quadrants of Denton, then each one of those can become its own post on Instagram, where then you say, hey guys, A, B, C, D, and E, what would you like to see in this part of Denton?
Yeah.
And just content like that, right? To just be engaging and fun and playful.
CTAs and A/B testing, right?
100%. Well, because I don't know anybody that when they hear city of anything, city of Denton, city of Fort Worth, city of Colleyville, I don't think anybody goes, oh, I love them. They're so great. You know, like that, and that doesn't mean you're not great. You are great. Like I've loved listening to you. And so there's so much opportunity there for multiple people inside of the city of Denton to be personalities on your social media channel, where you're answering frequently asked questions and you're talking about, you know, a misunderstanding that, you know, you overheard in the square the other day, and then you're interviewing local business owners, and you're interviewing engineers from around the, like there's just so much fun stuff that could happen.
Okay, we got to take a break, brother. Hold on to that topic. Do not lose it. Hold on to it. I knew I was going to do this to you. Hold on to it. Let's take a break and come back and wrap that part up.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible.
JP Direct Health offers affordable health insurance solutions for individuals, families, and small businesses specializing in custom coverages to fit your needs and budget. JP Direct Health offers comprehensive benefits, including PPO health plans, accident and critical illness coverage, dental and vision, health matching accounts, along with telehealth at no cost per call. Call JP Direct Health today to learn more about how we can help you protect your health and your budget.
Do you want your home or office to sparkle? Then call Elite Diamond Cleaning today. From basic cleaning to deep cleaning, and using only the highest quality cleaning products and equipment, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Our team of experienced cleaners will work quickly and efficiently to clean every nook and cranny, taking care of all the details so you don't have to. With a variety of pricing options to fit any budget, you can be sure that you are getting the best possible price. Call Elite Diamond Cleaning today at 214-300-9876 to schedule a free estimate. Your home and office is a diamond. Let us get it out of the dust.
Are you looking for new or more reliable and affordable home services? Look no further than Utility Connect. At Utility Connect, we understand that every customer is different. Thanks to our partnership with The Difference, our free concierge service seamlessly shops all of your utilities and services for your home or business with one easy phone call. So what are you waiting for? Call Utility Connect today and experience the difference. For more information, give us a call at 469-414-2033 or visit us at www.utilityconnect.net/thedifference to learn more.
Are you a business owner looking to grow your company? Get fast, easy financing up to $5 million with no minimum FICO score required. Apply in 60 seconds and get funded in 24 hours. Call Jim Thomas at 214-629-7223 to talk to a financing professional today. Your business's future is waiting. So don't delay. Call now and tell him that you saw him on The Difference.
And now back to the show.
See, I knew when we got Kyle on and got him started, I knew as soon as I started talking about what Cameron was doing, it was going to trigger him and he was going to go off because he can't help it. He can't help coach. It's in your DNA, brother, that you're just going to go off. And I mean, we should be, thank God we're recording this so you can go back and replay it and get all the nuggets that he's teaching us in this. Because, you know, really overall, one of the things I need you to talk about too, Coach, in just a second is community involvement, right, through this. But Kyle talks about, you know, what not to do on social media. We need to learn what not to do because it seems like it's very unfiltered to me. There's a lot of things on there that should not be on social media ever, and it's on there. And then stuff gets mixed in sometimes with professional, because you don't see that kind of crap on LinkedIn, but you'll see it on the other ones too, you know, sometimes. But, you know, like Cameron's message is she needs to get that out, and she needs to get out in so many ways. And what Kyle was talking about a while ago, Cameron, was the things that you do. People don't realize that when you're doing things in public, like you did before with the map, is you're creating content for your social media. And I tell agents all the time, it's like, when you're out doing those kind of things in the community, you need to be snapping pictures and taking video and remembering certain things and getting dialogue with other people out there, because it's going to be content that you don't have to go back and recreate the wheel to get it on social media. So Kyle, talk a little bit with us about things not to do, but also the connection that we need to have within our own community.
Well, I think I'm actually doing a webinar November 8th called What Not to Do on Social Media. And so I don't have time to unpack everything I'd love to say, but I think the biggest thing that we need to stop doing is just trying to be uber professional through the way we show up online, right? Like, the reason it's easy to dislike certain companies is usually because there's not a human being for us to connect to humanize that company. Therefore, it's easy to flip the switch of I like them, I hate them. And so you look at, like, you know, City of Denton. If there's not, and again, I haven't followed the social medias, right? So Cameron, you could already be doing an unbelievable job, and this doesn't even make sense that I'm even talking right now. But I would imagine a lot of those environments that there's not individuals that are really highlighted and spotlighted to let us tie things in and hear your story about living in New York. And now thousands of people in Denton go, no way, me too. I lived in New York. And boom, 1,000 people in your community just related to you at a deeper level and are now more inclined to want to help and serve because of something as stupid as you both used to live in New York. Like, that's how simple it is for us to connect to people.
Are you calling people who live in New York stupid?
No.
It sounded that way. Wow.
Do not be starting.
The truth comes out.
Dang, Robert.
It's just it's the silliest reasons that we typically connect to people. And those are the first reasons that we convince ourselves don't belong on social media. You know, there's a reason why I'm wearing my Rangers hat and shirt today.
Yes.
Because for Rangers fans, like, last night was a massive night.
Yes.
And I don't have to say anything about it, but people will just see my clothing and go, yes, I like that guy because he's a Rangers fan. And it's as simple as that. And that could be why somebody does something for me, because we connected through something as simple as the clothes we're wearing.
Right. Because somebody living in Houston right now could say, you know what? I don't deserve to be here. I should live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Denton might be the place I should root for the Rangers.
I don't know that we want that, though. So, you know, Houston can keep their trash people.
Right. Speaking of, no filter
kidding,
here,
guys.
bro.
I'm just kidding, kind of. You know, it's just.
Hey, it's trash talking for sports.
Robert started
That's
this.
the way it is.
He got, he lived.
Robert started it.
Right.
Did you see the meme that came out this morning when Ziemann was holding his little boy on his lap talking, and the quote was, "Go Rangers, great sportsmanship holding Altuve in your lap," or something like that.
I love it.
Well, you know what? Lyndon, our founder, producer, editor, and general wizard behind the scenes, had brought up what you were talking about, Kyle, is that this is what really the community difference is all about. Yeah. This is why we have different chapters. This is why we're going to bring on leaders and business people who are making a difference in their community. Hey, Lyndon, touch on that for just a second, would you?
Well, I mean, that's Kyle is right. I mean, I think what people are tired of, besides mainstream media and all the propaganda that we get from it on a daily basis, and them just trying to manipulate our thought process on who we should like, who we shouldn't like, who we should vote for, all that. I mean, I can go down, I could talk on that for an hour. But people are really, if you look at TikTok, why did TikTok become so popular? Because it's authentic people doing silly stuff or talented stuff and they surpass what Hollywood is doing even. And you get to start to understand that there's some amazing people in our world that may not have gotten that path through Hollywood to showcase their talents. They may not be doing something else, but social media has given us all a platform to connect. Again, that's what it's all about. And Kyle's right. It's kind of like tuning in a radio, right? When you talk about I'm from New York, the people that are listening, that resonates with them. And now you grab their attention. But what we're really enjoying about all of the shows that we're doing here, and what I think people across the planet have been able to do with social media, TikTok, Instagram, is just show our authenticity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. And Kyle said something that was really important. It doesn't have to be polished. I tell everybody, you don't have to be a professional, but you got to be prepared. That's all you have to do. So when you get ready to go on and do something, just prepare yourself, but don't over prepare, because then we overthink and it's not authentic.
And you come off robotic when you do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. And this is why, I mean, over 4 years, we've had over 4 million viewers within the DFW area. Now, people, you know, when I say that, sometimes people go, well, Joe Rogan gets 4 million on every show. Well, I'm not Joe Rogan. None of us are Joe Rogan. We're not trying to be Joe Rogan. I'd love to have Joe Rogan's bank account, but, you know, that's really all I care about, Joe Rogan.
Yeah, but tell them how many viewers we've had on this show since August.
Oh, my gosh. We're averaging over 5,000, between 5,000 and 6,000 per show.
Wow.
Per week.
That's awesome.
Per
That's
week.
awesome.
You know, that's 24,000 people. And that just continues to grow. I'll give you another example. The first show we ever did 4 years ago in October, we've been going now for 4 years. I usually measure what happens from one show to another. So 7 days, right? So that show had about 1,500 viewers in 7 days, which I thought was great. I mean, I was really excited. Guess where it sits now after 4 years?
Where?
65,000 people have watched that show.
Wow.
It continues to build viewership simply because it's in our library. So when someone watches this live show and they get curious, they go, well, what else is here? And so people that were on that show 4 years ago are still getting views. The advertisers are still getting clients off of it. They're getting customers off of it. There has never been a time as an entrepreneur like we live in right now for marketing and branding.
That's right.
Never.
That's right. And for free. Really. I mean, seriously, for no cost.
Yep.
Just our efforts and our time, you know, on that. So, Cameron, what Kyle was talking about earlier, does that hit home for you guys as far as what you're trying to do in your social media connection? Or, you know, could you use a coach, a therapist like Kyle, you know, to maybe come and talk to you guys, maybe?
Well, I was going to say, I think what Kyle's talking about is amazing. I think it is definitely something that we've thought about at the city, is how do we allow people to feel connected to us? How do we become more relatable? Yeah. How is it more organic and not so structured? And I do run a social media page for the city. I run Preserve Denton. I don't know if anyone follows it. It's all about history and historic preservation in Denton. And we've tried to make that a little bit more organic because it's fun facts. Who doesn't want to learn about Denton history? Who doesn't want to know what that parking lot was, you know, years ago? And we've had a lot of good feedback and people just saying, hey, we really love what you're posting. We love all the events that you're posting. And we try and put our faces on there. But I definitely feel like when it comes to cities just in general, social media can still be a little bit scary because of backlash. You know, we're not always going to share news that people want to hear.
Sure.
No matter what city or anywhere you are in the country, there's always development, or there's a project you've heard about that you don't agree with, or a policy that was changed by your, you know, city council or your mayor, whatever it may be. So I definitely think that the city has done a great job at being more transparent and sharing information with the community. But there's always those scary moments where you're just kind of not sure how people are going to take it. And so it's like, oh, do you mute the comments? Do we allow comments to be allowed on Facebook or whatever it may be? our Denton television network, they make some great videos, and I feel like they've also been able to add a different level of kind of that open communication with the city, so people can kind of see what we do on a daily basis. I've been in a few of those videos with the street sign toppers in Southeast Denton. I got to climb through City Hall West underneath the faux second floor that we have. Got a little dirty, found some old FEMA documents.
Wow.
So I think we're in a new stage and a new phase for city government and how city government uses social media. But I think, Kyle, what you're doing and kind of, I think you would probably be a benefit to a lot of municipalities just to kind of have that open conversation, open
Imagine
dialogue.
that.
Yeah.
What?
I said, imagine that, Kyle. Yeah. Just another avenue to go down.
That's right.
So maybe you need to market with the municipalities, but I definitely think that is kind of where we're headed. And I think cities are heading to that. It is a new frontier for us. And it's kind of it is still at times walking on eggshells, but I think we're getting there, and it's just kind of
It takes a minute. But if you have a strategy, a purpose, a mission, and goals set, you're going to get there at some point.
Exactly.
Okay, we're going to be at our final commercial now, and we are going to come back and we are going to talk about this month's topic. So let's do that.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible.
Texas Edge Insurance. We're more than just an insurance company. We're your partners in protection. We understand that every person and every business is unique. That's why we don't believe in a one-size-fits-all approach to insurance. We work with you to create a customized insurance plan that meets your specific needs. And we're always here to help you, no matter what. We offer a wide range of insurance products. We also work with over 30 insurance companies to find you the best possible coverage. So what are you waiting for? Contact Texas Edge Insurance today. Visit our website or give us a call at 817-406-2929 to get a free quote today. Introducing Bankroll Media, a digital marketing partner designed to take your business to the next level. At Bankroll Media, we are a team of creative and innovative marketers that works with mortgage loan officers, realtors, many e-commerce businesses, and much more. At Bankroll Media, we're different because you're different. We get it, and that's why we're here. We're not your typical marketing agency. We don't believe in cookie-cutter solutions or one-size-fits-all approaches. We believe in building relationships with our clients and understanding their unique needs. We want to understand your business inside and out so that we can create marketing campaigns that are tailored to your specific needs. From social media management, lead generation, web design to content creation and SEO, even email marketing. Bankroll Media can do it all. Bankroll Media, building presence, connecting ideas.
And now back to the show.
All right, we're back. Okay, well, we got a few minutes. I do want to talk about our topic, and then we'll maybe throw some rapid fire questions out to our guest today. But our topic has been, how we're maintaining our healthy work life, balance, and balancing our community, involvement with our, like volunteering and things, but also, working our day-to-day job and how we, put those things together. I'd love to hear y'all's opinion. Steph, I know since you're, a mom, real estate agent, you probably never take a break, or get to. Weekends, can be busy too. So it can be 7 days a week. Give us your opinion on how you balance.
Oh my gosh, yes. So, it's really about, I schedule a lot. We have a running joke in our house that if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. Because I try and time block. Time blocking is really the biggest thing. But I also realized after some health issues from always just going nonstop that I've got to take care of myself as well. So I get up every morning and go to the gym. Okay. And I'm back before I have to get kids up from school. Do I like getting up at 5 a.m? No. Do I do it? Yes, because I know that that is the time block that I can do for me. And then it's just that it's keeping a schedule and trying not to divvy from it, but also building in, time for, audibles or curveballs or whatever may come into it. And
Way to
then,
throw the baseball theme in there too.
well,
Yeah.
my kid plays baseball, so I live and
Yeah.
breathe baseball besides
Right.
just the Rangers.
Well, I know that Kyle, you can't get an appointment. You can't talk to Kyle without making an appointment.
Right.
He will drill you back until you set that appointment and send it to him. Do you work like that too, Stephanie, where you try to, listen, I've always learned either you schedule your own calendar or somebody else will, and you've got to stay on top of that, right?
I definitely schedule like when I'm going to return calls. So like if somebody calls me after 7:00 at night, unless it's something that just absolutely has to be dealt with, it's a fire right that second.
Yeah.
My voicemail tells you I'll call you back tomorrow, because I try and be, present with my kids in the evenings, whether it's cooking dinner or sports or whatever that may be. I try and time block when I look at my email or when I look at social media, but a lot of real estate is very, like I said, kind of curveballish, because you don't know when you're going to get that phone call or that text message that you got to deal with. So that you can't really schedule as much.
That's true.
But then I'm excited too with giving back to the community. One of the things I love to do is construction and building and projecting and designing. So I'm actually on the list. I'm going to help with the next Habitat house that's fixing to get started in December. I'm super excited about
Our real
that.
estate association helped raise money for that the last several years to get that going.
So I'm super excited about that. It's going to be up in Sanger. The groundbreaking ceremony is like December 2nd, I think. But it's one way to give back to the community and just to help somebody else.
Right.
And it's something that I'm passionate about, and it's something I love. So for
Kyle,
sure.
when do you cut your time off? I mean, at the end of the day, you cut your time off. When is it family time?
Matt, it's always different. I do think to some degree that like work-life balance is kind of a mirage. And as much as we can say we fight for work-life balance, like that's not how life works. We don't get to go, hey, life, I'm busy at 4. So if you could not throw me a curveball, like we don't.
I know.
So I think what I've learned, especially in my marriage, we'll be married 14 years next month. And I think more than work-life balance, it's about good communication. And so when I decided to like get on the road and travel a lot, I didn't make that decision without my wife having a huge say in it.
Right.
And so because she understood like this is going to throw work-life balance completely out of whack.
Yeah.
But if we're in agreement and we have an understanding that this isn't permanent, this is seasonal.
Yeah.
And so I think there's just a lot of people out there that like they just tell their spouse what they're doing as opposed to being united and communicating. And but one little simple hack that I've just recently done that I'm really enjoying is so my phone every night at sunset, my phone changes to grayscale.
Okay.
And guys, it's unbelievable. When you pick up a phone that doesn't have color, it's like, ugh,
It's
like, this is boring. I don't want anything to do with this, because I can get bad about like being on Instagram at night and responding to people in the comments. And my wife has to be like, hey, what are you doing? Stop.
Right. Yes.
And so really just making it gray has allowed me to be way less interested in it in the evening time so that I'm more present for
very interesting.
my wife and my kids.
Well, a lot of us, are image related to things like that, right? Color does play a role in things, in the color palette on that. Cameron, when do you shut down when people are emailing you? I mean, do you quit? Do you put your phone down at some point at the end of the day and go, okay, enough is enough?
Honestly, I've been trying to be better about that. Being in the public service industry, essentially, I really, sometimes there's those emails and I'm like, I got to respond, kind of like what Stephanie was saying. There's just some fires that you have to put out then and there. So I'll respond. I think the latest email I've ever sent was at 2 a.m. I got told that I should not be doing that.
No, you shouldn't be. Have you thought about electrical shock therapy, maybe?
I've gotten that a couple times, Cameron, with like, stop responding.
I know. And I'm like, why am I responding at 2 a.m.? And I think it's just like, I really am a people pleaser. I really want to make sure that people have the best experience working, not only with the planning division, but with the city. But there are just times, I've gotten a lot better, but there are definitely times where I'm just like, you need to put your phone away. So I've started putting the do not disturb.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get any notifications, Instagram, email, G-chat, anything like that. It's down.
Well, don't we spend enough time at work already? I mean, really, if you look at the time that's spent, in our industries and what we do, there's more time in that than it's involved. I wanted to ask a question, but we're going to run out of time today. But I wanted to think about the question of, if I ripped out everything away from you, the carpet right underneath your feet right now, and you couldn't do what you were doing, and you had to sit, how long could you sit before you would go and find another phone or another laptop or another job, right? I mean, how long would it be before it drove you crazy just to sit there and be quiet hours on end without talking to somebody and helping and servicing and meeting somebody else's needs? It would be really hard.
Yeah.
It would drive you crazy, on that.
Yeah. Like when Stormageddon hit a couple years ago and we all lost power and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to go stir crazy?
When that happened.
That was
reading by flashlight.
Yeah, that was 4 days of my power going off and on every 30 minutes or every hour for 4 days.
Yeah.
No shower, nothing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. My house got to be like down in the 50-degree mark. We couldn't ever get it warmed up, It was crazy. All right. Well, we have a couple of minutes left, and so I want to throw out a couple of curveballs. Yeah, just thinking of the baseball thing. Okay. Cameron, what's on your bucket list next? What are you going to do personally, not job-wise, but personally next?
Personally?
Yeah. Do you have a bucket list?
I don't. I have a life list.
Okay. What's on the life list? I don't have a
bucket list.
Okay.
Life list. I really want to go to Australia. I know that has nothing to do with this conversation, but I really want to go. I want to go try surf. I want to go try and surf. I will be absolutely terrible at it. And then maybe I'll do Lord of the Rings and go to New Zealand. I want to nerd out.
Yeah.
A long flight.
I don't think I've ever asked you this before, but who inspired you? Who were the people you looked up to, read books, listened to books on tape before CD, and then YouTube? Who were those people?
My parents, they both spoke for a living as a part of what they did. My grandfather's been a Baptist preacher for 75 years.
Okay.
And so they've always been a huge inspiration to me. And then John Maxwell is really like my mentor. Yeah, because he was a pastor and then got into the business world. And so we kind of have a similar story. And so my dream would be to be the next John Maxwell of, the next several generations.
Well, you are like a Maxwell, I think. Mm-hmm. I think I admire you, brother. And I'm blessed to know you. And I'm proud of you, when you're out there and about, and I keep up with you too. And I do read your emails, by the way.
Oh, good. Thank you. So you're that one person that opens it.
And I did read the book, and I did pass on the book. So his book that he came out with this year is called Rethink Everything. I guess you can find it on Amazon.
Yes, sir.
Because that's where it is. And and Kyle tells us, read the book and then pass it on to somebody else. So I want to thank all of you guys for being on today. It was just a wonderful show. I think we really got some good information out. We know that Kyle should probably start talking to people at the municipalities.
Done. It'll be done before the day's over.
And if all you guys will just stay on after we close out the show, I would appreciate that. So, Lyndon, thank you always, brother, for taking care of us and make us look pretty on the back end of everything. And Cameron, thank you so much. I appreciate you, girl, for being on and giving us really good information today. I think what I came away with this show today is is that communication really is the number one key to everything in all of our lives, personal or business, is that we have to communicate not only to our loved ones, but the people who we work with, and to know that everybody's all on the same page with us, right? It makes it just a smoother transition in workplace too, right? Robert, thank you, brother. Stephanie, thanks for being on your first time today too. And thank you guys for watching. Please share this show with somebody else. And if you would like to be a sponsor, give me a holler. I'd love to talk to you.